Welcome to Kitchen Conversations with Amberth. Today my guest is Svetlana Heneghan. She's a very talented and creative kitchens and bathrooms designer. She has over 5 years of experience within the industry, and she's been with the Amberth family since 2019. Amberth is a family-run, award-winning kitchens and bathrooms design studio based in North London in Islington. They've been on the market since 2006, and we specialize in boutique and individual designs and installations for kitchens and bathrooms. Hello, Svetlana.
Hi, Inga. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello again. So today we will be talking about 5 things to look out for when designing kitchen cabinets. That's what I would like to. I think it's a very important topic for everyone. Many people don't really know how to approach it, where to start. So I would like us to have a conversation about it and use your expertise and experience to actually give our audience some tips for that.
Yep, I'd be happy to do that.
Let's get it started. So when we're talking about cabinetry, what do you think would be the first thing we need to think about when choosing finishes for the kitchen?
Well, when I start designing a kitchen, I think about 2 questions. Who's going to use the space and how they're going to use the space? Because there is huge difference between, for example, family of 4 and a bachelor. For the first example, you obviously want something more durable and sturdy. When there are small children or pets in the house, you want to avoid any surfaces which can be easily scratched or chipped, or fingerprints left on the, for example, shiny surfaces, and you have to clean them all the time. Whereas if you're a single person and you need a kitchen occasionally to cook a meal or two, you can get away with something a bit more fancy in a way. Although nowadays you don't really have to choose between luxurious and practical. There are so many choices on the market, and everybody can find something that's suitable for them.
Yes, especially if you work with very boutique and bespoke product like the one that we design and we supply for our clients. There is lots of hand finishes that we can introduce, as we've been doing very recently, and it can be very unique. And at the same time, I think the technology and innovations moved so much that there is lots of new products that imitates marbles and high-end products that can be used for cladding and gives this luxury feel, but at the same time allow our clients to use it and enjoy it on a daily basis. So I think that's a really good point. In terms while we're talking about those things, so can we move to finishes? So what are the finishes available on the market?
Well, I suppose that depends on the company you're using, but if it's a fully bespoke service, it could be almost anything, to be honest. It could be something common use like laminated surfaces or natural wood or wood veneers. Could be lacquer, could be hand painted if it's a traditional look. But also you can clad your furniture with almost any material that's suitable. Like there are porcelains which come in very small thicknesses, which imitate stone finish or rust on the metal, some interesting avant-garde looks. It could be stainless steel, which will make it look like a professional kitchen and also quite easy to maintain. It could be also brass or copper, very, very trendy at the moment. And considering that copper is naturally antibacterial and quite striking finish, actually, and brass being made from copper. Both are very good for families with children, especially now. It's very relevant with the pandemic going on around. So it could be glass, also another quite interesting option.
Yeah. We've got
Anything really.
also painted metals, don't we?
Yes,
Liquid metal.
exactly.
Yeah, that.
Nowadays, there are so many artisans who can create a finish, a completely unique finish just for you, and it can look whatever you
Yeah.
want it to look, really.
Micro concrete is also becoming very trendy and also can be introduced into cabinetry fronts in the different parts of the kitchen.
Exactly.
Um, I think you're right. As soon as you look into very unique and individual design, the possibilities are endless, are they?
Yeah, pretty much. All
Yeah.
depends on, your budget, your taste, your requirements and needs.
The time and so yes, budget kind of also the lead times sometimes
Yeah,
could be a factor to consider. So I think there are some items that needs to be taken into consideration, some things to when designing and when specifying, but I think it's a very good point. In terms of finishes,
yeah.
do we have to use the same finish across the whole kitchen, or can we use different finishes for different areas?
This is a question of aesthetics and your personal taste, and in some cases, budget. If you want natural wood in your kitchen, but you don't want it to look very overwhelming, and also as it's a quite expensive material and you want to keep it on a specific budget, you can allocate that finish to, for example, an island and make that a focal point. Or you could go for base cabinets one finish and wall cabinets another. In some cases, we paint wall cabinets same color as the walls to make them blend in, which still allows you a lot of storage, but makes the space look more open and airy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely a personal choice for everybody, and it does allow you to achieve striking and beautiful looking results without, hurting your wallet. So yeah,
I think that that's a brilliant point. We use different finishes for the interiors and exteriors,
yeah,
although not always, because the veneers can be used inside the cupboard and as the door. But as you mentioned, it depends really on the budget and where the budget is to be allocated. Uh, Also, natural wood and solid wood can be used inside and outside, but it just depends on the personal choice, but also the lifestyle, because it depends really how the kitchen is used. And if you wanted to have it more exposed and the open shelves, but then you've got small children, or you entertain a lot and there can be some water spilling. And so I think it's very important to start from that lifestyle and
exactly.
then go through the taste and kind of what people like, and then move to more practical part of the everyday life.
Sometimes it has to start from the practicality in some particular cases. Like for example, I got a small puppy as a new addition to our family, and it chews everything.
Yes.
When it's teething, it's chewing everything. So if you put that into equation, you want your base cabinets, the cabinets that on the floor, to be more, scratch resistant. So
Yeah.
you can use modern melamines, which are very thick and strong laminated finishes, which laminated doesn't sound particularly great, but to be honest, with modern technology, they
Modern.
make them look very natural
Yeah.
looking. So that could be a very good solution for a family with small children and pets. And
Mhm.
then the top cupboards could be something different for the
Yeah.
touch of the personality and luxury.
Yeah, and then at the upper units you can use something that is more delicate and requires a little bit being careful around them. But most of the time, the wall units do not get, unless it's around the cooking area, they do not get that much dust and dirt, so
Yeah,
they much easier to maintain. So when looking into the design, the base unit should be a little bit more robust, because that's where the hard work is going around, and there is lots of
Exactly.
touching and finger marks. So definitely agree with that. In terms of the storage solutions,
Yeah.
we are very particular about it. We like storage, we like innovations, we like looking to new
Yeah.
solutions and how to maximize the space. Working in London, working with different sizes of the kitchens, but at the same time having the flexibility to be quite bespoke. We can create some bespoke solutions, but there is lots of solutions which are on the market, which are available off shelf, which people can consider. Is there anything in particular we should consider?
Well, I would start with the most problematic part of every kitchen. It's the corner.
Yes.
And there are several solutions. Probably most well known are the carousel round ones, which work nicely in maybe more traditional design of a kitchen. But also there are more modern looking and sleek looking solutions like Magic Corner or so-called lemons. It's the pull-out kidney-shaped baskets which move on an S-curve vector and allows to utilize every square centimeter of the cupboard inside of it without having to, get in on your knees and getting into the very,
Yeah.
very corner. And they are designed for base cabinets and tall cabinets as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a very good idea with the Le Mans, that a kind of, you can have a tall corner unit and you
yeah,
can maximize the bottom and the upper part as well.
yeah,
They're also very
exactly.
good with using circular, like pots, pans, bowls,
Exactly.
anything like that, where probably Magic Corner, because it's rectangular and it's like four baskets, rectangular shape, it's more for something that is more square or rectangular, that you can just place it nicely, maybe boxes, even with the dry food.
Yeah.
But
Or
I think it's
food for
brilliant.
dogs, for example. All I'm thinking about now.
Well, guys, I'm not surprised. Why? It's a first day, so
Yeah. Lots of
brilliant.
excitement, very little sleep.
In terms of the other solutions, so we got the corner sorted,
Yeah.
lower and taller. What are other solutions that we should consider?
Well, I could probably safely bet that everybody dreams about big pantry cabinet with doors and drawers and shelves and everything you could put there and hide away. But if you're not very lucky to have a large kitchen, even if you have something small, for example, in a London apartment, and you have a narrow space left, whether it's in a base cabinet or again tall cabinet, there are so-called pull-out ladders, and they come in different widths. And they're very, very good solution because they utilize the entire depth of the cabinet and gives you very good ample storage in a very narrow space.
Yeah,
I absolutely love those. Obviously, they are very sturdy. If you go for high spec ones, you can load quite a lot of things on them. They're very strong and they're perfect for all your dry foods, dog food, maybe
that's
even small
true. There
appliances.
will be an open cupboard nowadays. There will be no food for you and your
No,
husband. It will be
no.
just dog food.
But even things like, onions or potatoes, things you don't want to put in the fridge, and maybe you don't have a whole drawer allocated, they're still very, very
Yeah.
good
And
baskets
many
for
of our
those.
clients actually been coming back over the years as soon as we introduce them to pull out ladders, that they just so happy. It's so easy to actually get your dry food and sorted either in jars or kind of
Exactly.
plastic storage with the names. It's so easy to access, which makes it very efficient in terms of the budget of the economics of the household, and kind of the things that you decide you don't want to store things and then forget about them, or they
Yeah.
buyer, you wanted to make sure that you're on top of it. So I think it's extremely helpful, and it's so easy to use. And as you mentioned, because they can be very, very narrow, going from 150, you can maximize storage in almost every kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. And
Rather than using a
as they pull out all the way out, you've got easy access to everything inside. Whereas
yeah,
if you've got a cabinet with shelves, you always lose something at the back of the cabinet.
yeah. And especially, because it can be quite tall, it can go to
Yeah.
2.3 meters. So yes, it is a very tall accessory. But if you've got shelves there, you wouldn't really access
No,
them.
no.
Because they're 60 centimeters deep. It's very rarely we would look at them.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
terms of what I find with pull-out ladders, I usually, when I work with the clients, I go to about 50 centimeters width. And then as soon as we move to 60 centimeters, I use tandems. So tandem is similar to pull-out ladder. The only thing is that it's like a split in the middle, and
It's a
you've got a
brilliant
shallow
thing.
shelves at the back, which come forward when you open the door, and then
Exactly.
part of it is on the door, and it helps with diverting the weight of all the items. So as soon as you've got a 60 centimeters pull out, it can become quite heavy when you pull it out.
Mhm.
Therefore, with tandems, it separates the weight. Part of it is on the door, part of it is on the units at the back on the pull out shelves. So I think it's also a very good accessory. Anything else? Well, what about drawers?
Drawers are absolute favorites for everything, especially if you can get them bespoke. Your drawer can be designed specifically to hold not just your cutlery utensils or pans and pots. It could hold anything, mugs, it could hold your spices if you like using lots of spices in your cuisine.
Yeah,
It could it could be absolutely anything. Using dividers inside to create something unique just for you. Drawers are
yeah,
absolutely brilliant. But then, if you don't really have an opportunity to go bespoke, there are lots of inserts on the market that you can just purchase and put inside, and that will save you so much time and create a very efficient
yeah.
storage.
And there is lots of solutions for the pots and pots lids as well, for the plates. There is lots of different ideas and different items on the market that could actually help with that, and get the kitchen organized in the way you just want it, and you know exactly where to go and pick up your favorite plates or mugs, or cutlery or utensils. I think that's extremely important. And again, first of all, it helps us with making it more ergonomic and efficient. Secondly, it probably helps with things not getting damaged easily, because they kind of neatly stored away, so they
Yeah.
last for longer. In terms of the thinking about your kind of, what is the most important in terms of the design when you're designing a kitchen cabinetry? What is the kind of the most important thing?
Well, as a designer of a kitchen, after answering the two first questions, who's going to use it and how they're going to use it, that's when you start looking into the technical part of the
Yeah,
design and start looking very carefully into specifications. If you're using all those off the shelf mechanisms, you have to design a cabinet specific to accommodate those mechanisms. So you always check dimensions, depth, width, height of the cupboards. Uh, if you have low ceiling height, you always want to be careful with the height of the cabinetry as well. So
yeah,
it doesn't, get stuck there. And Access to the property, again, if you have a very small lift and you have very tall ceiling, you probably don't want a tall cupboard going all the way to the ceiling. You split it or you stop it at some point. So yeah, I would say specifications of
Yeah.
everything that goes into your kitchen is very important, and you design around the things that you can't change. If you have to work around standard items,
Yeah.
then you're stuck there.
You know,
Appliances, mechanisms, all those things.
yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. That, you know, probably working with a bespoke product, we usually start from appliances, because for us, appliances are standard. We
Yeah,
can't change them. Everything else we can actually change and work with. So we're looking at the ceiling heights, we're looking at the depths. Some of the kitchens, so, you know, there's many kitchens that's got chimney breasts still, and you've got
yeah,
different depths at different parts of the kitchen. But when you design it, you want it to have it all in one line. Therefore, different cabinets on one side could be different depths, and that's also quite important. And at the same time, everyone wants to maximize the storage and use as much of the space as possible. So we kind of we have to look into all those aspects in the whole room and everything within it.
yeah, exactly.
Whoa. Last thing is sustainability. We
Yeah.
talk about it with everyone, and we kind of touch on this subject. Is there anything we should consider when looking into the cabinetry to make sure that we are more sustainable and environmental friendly?
Yes. Hot topic, that's for sure. I would say the most important thing is, if it's your home and you don't plan on selling it in 2 years' time, for example, invest in a high quality product.
Yeah.
Invest in a very good, long lasting furniture, appliances, worktop, and also installation. It's very important. Obviously, the longer it lasts, the more sustainable it gets. Um, Another thing is use the services which help removing your old cabinetry if there is something already in the room, and either sustainably get rid of them, or
Mhm.
even better, resell them if they're
Yeah.
in good enough shape. There are companies who can help with that, and also really help out people who want also nice looking kitchen but can't really afford it.
Yes.
That's a brilliant solution. Everybody's happy. Obviously, look into more natural materials. If it's something you could keep within your budget, I would say go for natural materials like solid woods, natural woods, stone. Although, if we go natural stone for worktops, it becomes a bit more high maintenance.
Yeah.
Although there are solutions, you can seal it, you just have to kind of do it routinely. Or for example, porcelain, very, very trendy solution for the worktops at the moment. Not many materials are more sustainable than that. And
Yes, exactly.
very long
That is
lasting and
very, very
very
natural.
strong and very low maintenance as well because it doesn't
Yes.
stain.
Yeah.
So I
And actually
think,
offers lots of choices as well, you
yes,
know.
exactly. To any
Yeah.
taste. It could look like marble, it could look like granite, stone, metal, anything. Again, stainless steel or copper or brass, as we mentioned before.
Yeah.
It's not just healthy, it's also quite natural and long lasting. And for the lovers of the traditional look, they age quite beautifully.
Yes, they do actually. Yeah. They will change in time. So some of the clients really love it. Yes.
So that's for people who do like the patina appearing over time.
Yeah.
If not, there are always solutions like wax or seal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's
I think it's all very good, and as I always mention, is the longevity of the product. It's
yeah,
actually probably quite important, and the fact that people can enjoy it and use it. And as kitchen is probably the most hardworking area in the house, I think the value of it, uh, it's kind of spreads over the many years. And I think at the end of the day, it's actually not that expensive if you do it per day or per week. I think it actually is worth having something that you really want and you really enjoy it. And
exactly.
yes, we with many of our projects, we look into and work with companies that we kind of try to promote and put the clients together with, and so they can resell it as a used kitchen, and then someone else can have a kitchen which is at a very good quality, or still fully working
Yeah.
and much lower price tag. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. So let's wrap it up so we can kind of remind people what are the things to look out for when choosing kitchen cabinetry. So first of all, we were talking about things that we need to think about to when looking into the cabinetry, and what is the first idea, how we should go about it. And you really nicely talk about the lifestyle and the two questions. And the questions were who and how, yes?
Exactly.
So we've got who and how. So who is using and how they're using it. Then we move to finishes and in on the market, and there is a huge choice, massive choice. We are just really touching the surface of it, because we talked about the laminated, also called melamine. It's a kind of interchangeable name. Veneers, which is a very thin layer of wood on top of their chipboard. Then we've got lacquers, and they different finishes of the lacquer, so they can be matte or gloss, porcelain, cladded, and stainless steel, different metals, brass, copper, solid wood, and glass. Yes, we talked about glass actually. And in terms of the using different finishes at different areas, that could actually create a statement and could highlight the certain area. And as we talked about, and as you mentioned, it could also make some areas disappear. So it could actually, if we paint it in the same color as the wall, it becomes much more invisible, but at the same time offers really nice storage. However, different finishes come with different price tags, so it's important to realize that if we want to use more expensive product for the carcasses, for the interiors, the price of the kitchen will go up. If we go with the different choice of finishes, then it may allow us and help with the budget. So, and then next one, solutions. Magic corners, lemons, cutleries, insert, pull-out ladders, and many more. It was spice racks,
A lot
also.
of things. Oh God, a lot
Yes,
of things. And they keep appearing on the market. Just keep your eye out.
yes, there is lots of innovations and lots of new things coming all the time. Then we're talking about what actually is important thing to think about as soon as you know who and how. Is the ceiling height, the depths, the magic triangle. We didn't or touch based on that, but it's something that it's the layout solutions between the fridge, hob, and the sink. That's quite important to keep it in the shape of triangle. But also, as we mentioned at the beginning, the lifestyle, how the space is going to be used. And I think and finally, we kind of talking about sustainability. So, yes, looking at the sustainability and making sure that we go for the products that are environmental friendly, and they can help us to enjoy the space for longer.
Yeah.
I would like to say a big thank you for today and your time
Thank you
and
so much for
sharing
having
your
me. It's been a pleasure.
experience and knowledge. Any questions can be shared in comments, and we will be more than happy to come back to everyone with answers. So thank you again, Svetlana. Thank you.
Thank you, Inga. Good seeing you.